Hello everyone, and thank you very much for watching. This is me, Mr. P. Around 5 months ago, I published a video about self-hosting Obsidian and using Syncthing to sync your nodes across. And that was working fine for first month or so. After about a month and a half, I started to notice that not all the nodes getting synced between all my devices. After a bit of troubleshooting, I discovered what turns out what's happening is that Syncthing not always being triggered to sync the nodes. And what I mean by that sometimes Syncthing just hanging and waiting for something to happen for actual sync to start functioning. So in this video, I will show you the other way, and dare I say the better way of syncing the Obsidian nodes free of charge. Still can be free of charge. If you don't want a self-host syncing process for Obsidian, you can go and use Obsidian Sync, which is I think about $4 or something a month to sync using Obsidian servers. But as a home lab a maniac, I want to try everything. I will set up everything as cheap as possible, as free as possible. So in this video, I will show you the better way, I hope it's a better way, how you can sync Obsidian nodes across multiple devices. And what we're going to use MinIO S3 bucket. You will self-host a service via Docker inside your home lab, which will be your S3 bucket. Then you create a token and you connect everything with Obsidian using a third-party plugin that is available inside a community list inside Obsidian, and I'll show you everything how can this be downloaded, installed, and what kind of configurations you need to apply, or what I recommend for you to change just before start using it. All the documentations and links you'll find in the description below. I'll leave all the links to the MinIO official website and their Git repo. For this video, I'll use my Docker Compose file that I quickly basically drafted for this video. So it's going to be a simple Docker Compose file that we're just going to change a couple of things to tailor my needs, the server, the configurations. I'll explain everything how it works. So let's go and start doing that. So first of all, I don't need this tab anymore. So we are inside a Portainer. You can use obviously Docker CLI or log into your Ubuntu server or whatever Linux server you're hosting and enter everything using the Docker commands. We're going to use Portainer for this video. So I'm inside a Portainer under stacks. I'm going to click add stack. Let's jump to this tab and copy this Docker Compose file. Let's go back here, scroll down a bit and paste that in. We will give it a name. So I'm going to call MinIO or MinIO. And right, what things we need to change? First of all, Portainer runs on port 9000, and MinIO, pretty much the same thing. It's just the way you pronounce. It requires port 9000 as well. Well, it suggests to run on port 9000, so we change that from port 9000 to port 9123. As you can see, it says MinIO IP port. This is quite important. And next one is 9090, which is Min console port. MinIO console port is the one that you will use, or port you will use to access MinIO dashboard, where 9000, or in my case it's going to be 9123, is where I need to link Obsidian to MinIO. Next, we need to provide the path to the data. So let's jump straight away into a SSH client, which is already connected to this Docker VM. And I'm currently inside the home, Mr. P Docker. We will create a directory called MinIO and change directory into that directory. And I think that's all we need is just that. So let's print this by typing pwd, which stands for print working directory. Copy that, jump into the Portainer, and instead of path to data, I'm just going to delete all that and replace with home Mr. P Docker MinIO. And next thing, what I need to do is, that's it. If you're changing the ports here, you need to obviously change ports here as well, but pretty much that stays as it is. Container name MinIO, admin, my secret password, that's fine. Obviously you can go and change the password to wherever you want, to a bit more secure, or even you want to do a bit more or even more secure way to providing the credentials. You can attach the env file and then you can set up this way. That's it. Everything is set up. Name is provided. Let's scroll down and look for button deploy the stack and press that. So right now, Docker goes and checks if the Docker image for MinIO exists in my system. If it doesn't, it will go and download the image. Once the image is downloaded, it will go and set it up. quick check under images. Let's have a look. If I type MinIO, the container name or container size, oh yeah, camera is not blocking, is just over 182 megabytes. So it's very small container, very small container image, sorry, Docker image. So the stack right now is running. If I click back on a stack, click on the name, and I can see that container is running. Let's check the logs by clicking this button. And let's have a look. I don't see any errors, looks okay. Web UI accessible via this. Okay, everything looks fine. Let's click back and look for the port number, which is 9090. Let's click on that. This is a MinIO object storage, the dashboard. Username, I chose it to be admin, and the password will be my secret password. Login. And here we are logged in inside the MinIO system. Yeah, we can save the password. So as you can see straight away, the first suggestion that happens is you need to create a bucket. So let's create a bucket. Click on that, and I'll call this Obsidian, like that. Then you have an option to start versioning, object locking, or quarter. I'm just gonna leave those off by default, and click the create a bucket. So that's it. We have created S3 bucket. That is here. Next thing, what we need to do is we need to go and create the token that will allow Obsidian to log in into the MinIO system and store data inside this bucket. To do that, on the left-hand side, I need to click access keys, and then click create access key. This is access key provided. I can basically reveal that. You can go copy and paste. That key will not work after the video has been done. And the name, I'll call this, let's say, Obsidian demo with MinIO S3, like that. So that is here. I'm gonna leave this page as it opened, because if I press create, it will open a small window with the credentials. But what might happen if you click by accident or click out this box or close this box by accident, those keys cannot be retrieved. You won't be able to get those keys again. You're gonna have to go and create a new one. So usually what I do, I just leave this open. As you can see, this is all key here. So it's gonna be easier for me to copy paste. And then I'm just gonna go and get this one used in our Obsidian. So on the MinIO side, this is done, a part of just pressing a button create. Next, let's open Obsidian. I have Obsidian freshly installed on the system, so we're gonna go and create a vault. We'll give this vault a name. Let's call it Galaxy. Click browse, and I will say that Obsidian will store data inside my home directory, Mr. P Obsidian. Select that and press create. So right now it's creating the fresh vault inside my system. So it's just a welcome message right now. We can go and check inside the Obsidian directory. I'll find the Galaxy directory, and this is my welcome message. Let's go and add a couple of more messages. Let's say, please subscribe. If I can type correctly, that's it. That's saved. I should be able to see a message here. Please subscribe, MD. So right now, Obsidian is installed. Let's start setting up the connection between Obsidian and MinIO S3 bucket. To do that, I need to go and find the options button here at the bottom. I click on that and click on community plugins. Turn on community plugins and press browse. And right now there is a list of community plugins. At the time of recording this video, in total there is 2,327 community plugins, but we need only one, and that is called remotely save. That's the one we need. It's downloaded over 1.1 million times. So I'm gonna click on that, and as you can see in the description, it says sync nodes between local and cloud with smart conflict, S3, Amazon S3, Cloudflare R2, Backblaze B2, and etc. Or you can send to Dropbox, WebDAV, Nextcloud, InfiniCloud, Synology, OneDrive, Google Drive, and many, many others. We will utilize S3. I'm gonna click install. Let's wait for that to finish and click enable. Right now it's telling me that basically welcome to using remotely save, etc, etc. And most important things is I will back up my vault firstly. It's encourages you to make a backup of your vault just in case if something happens, you at least have a backup. Always backup. So I'm gonna say, yeah, I already backed up, even like I have only 2 nodes freshly installed, but yes, I backed up because I need to agree to terms and conditions to those 2 before I click agree. And I understand I need to update the plugins across all the devices and etc. Remotely save only sends the nodes. It will not sync your installed plugins, configurations, etc. So if you installed some sort of a plugin on one system and you want to use the same functionality on another system, you need to install the plugin on another system and configure pretty much the same way. So if you're installing, let's say, a Scala Draw on this main system, and if you want to use a Scala Draw on your, let's say, laptop or another device, you need to set up everything as a fresh install, just for the plugins, not the Obsidian. So I'm going to say, yeah, that's okay, I agree, and let's wait. That's it, that's been saved. Now I can click on options. And in here, we can go and start setting up our Obsidian sync, or remotely save to sync Obsidian nodes to the S3 bucket. From a drop-down, it's already selected S3 or compatible. As you can see, there's quite a few more options here. We're going to use S3. Endpoint. Endpoint is your IP address of the instance where the MinIO is running, followed by the API port. In my case, API port is 9123, or if you're running on a system that port 9000 was free and it was you were able to use it, it's going to be most likely port 9000. So in my case, it's going to be this, which is 192.168.178.67, port 9123. Region, because it's my local saved system and region is not very mandatory thing, or not important thing to use. I still need to validate that, or still need to enter something. And as you can see, if you are not sure what to enter, you could just try a value US East 1. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to just type US-East-1. And now is access key and secret access key, or access key ID and a secret access key. Can't speak today for some reason. So first thing is access key. I'm going to double click and choose copy, jump back into the Obsidian and paste that in. Go back to MinIO, double click, copy, go back to Obsidian and paste. That's in. I have copied and pasted the access key ID and a secret access key. I can click here and press create. And this is the window what I was talking about, that there is a chance by accident you might close it and those keys will never be basically showing up again. So that's fine. Let's close that. And this is the entry added into MinIO. Let's go back to Obsidian. Bucket name. We named the bucket, I do believe, Obsidian. So we need to name the bucket Obsidian to make sure that API key knows where to connect. Obsidian. And next, what we need to do is, oh yeah, pretty much that is it. So if I press the button, check, as you can see, message showing up. Great, the bucket can be accessed. So Obsidian successfully connected to my S3 bucket. And now there is a couple of settings I recommend for you to change before going and fully start using it. Number 1 settings is this: run once at the startup. So when you start your Obsidian, once you set this everything up and you start using it, I recommend to set up at 1 second after start. So when you start the Obsidian, it automatically will pull all the nodes that are inside the bucket. Sync on save, it says experimental, but it's completely worked for me fine. I've been using this kind of setup for about a month right now, and I've been basically really testing it, like trying to break it, and every time the save on sync or sync on save works perfectly. Skip large files is up to you if you want to send or not the large files. Next thing, what I recommend for you to change is this. Let's have a look. Where are you? Here we go. Actually, about this: abort sync if modification above %. Right now, by default, is set to 50%. What that means that if the remotely saved plugin detects that you're about to change more than 50% of the data from Obsidian back to bucket or vice versa, it will warn you that there's something happened. This prevents basically for you from prevents for that you by accident delete a bunch of data from your Obsidian, and you will send all the deletion instructions to S3 bucket. So this is very, very useful. And I do believe that is it. Yeah, that is it. One more thing to show is this option here where it says export. If you're setting up more than one device for your Obsidian to sync with the MinIO bucket, let's say you have a workstation, a laptop, and a smartphone. You want to set up the same MinIO bucket on your laptop. You can click on this Export S3 part, and it will provide you with this QR code which you can scan with your phone to configure the phone, or click copy the link. As you can see, I copied the link here. I'll show you how this link looks like. So it looks like a big block of random letters and numbers starting with Obsidian semicolon // and what this link does, that if you install the same plugin on your laptop or phone, you can go to the same settings page on another device and paste that link in here and press configure. This way you don't need to worry about creating a new access key ID, secret key, access key. You don't need to worry anything about this setup that we did here at the top. Everything will be pulled down from this link. It's pretty much the configuration of this plugin will be copied and pasted or migrated into your new device. But if you want to have some sort of like split access between the devices, you will have to go to MinIO and create another access key. Let's say create a new access key, and let's call this Mr. P laptop, and I'll create a new one, etc. There is way more configurations for each access key that you can do in MinIO. You can restrict by buckets, you can restrict by the traffic that is sending, etc, etc. This is just me showing you the simple way for you to get your nodes from Obsidian synced somewhere, just to kept safe. So yeah, but this option is where it tells you to, if you want, you can export the S3 part and get everything migrated to a new location. So quick check if everything is okay. So we have sync on save, say sync on 1 second. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I press that. And because I installed right now a new plugin, there is a new button here on the left hand side, which is called remotely save. If I click on that, straight away 2 messages shows up that everything is synced. So let's go to MinIO, click on a bucket. Not now. Let's see if the data being sent. So far, nothing showing up. Let's go and create a bit more. Let's go and say I want to copy this text, and I'll paste it way more, like copy paste duplicate entries. That is done. So I'm going to click save. It's sending the data to MinIO. Let's minimize that, and let's see if a bucket is updated or still crunching numbers. It's still doing crunching numbers, but we can go and check how this looks like inside our SSH client. So we're inside the MinIO. As you can see, there is a directory created Obsidian. So go in there, and there you go. Inside MinIO Obsidian, we have these 2 nodes created. So MinIO bucket already storing the data to a path that we provided. And that's it. And that is it, how you set up the MinIO S3 bucket to sync your nodes. From my personal experience, from my testing, I would say this is more reliable to sync the nodes than Syncthing. Don't get me wrong, Syncthing still works. It's just maybe something with my setup, or it's just me, that on some occasions, quite a few actual occasions, where my phone had some notes missing that I 100% sure I saved them, and they were saved on my workstation, or basically my laptop had some notes created where only half of them end up on my workstation and another half end up on my phone. Plus on a Syncthing, when you sync the data, and let's say you're changing on one device, it needs to go to first device, or to device number 1 first, then device number 2 second, etc. It just I don't think the Syncthing, like I said, it still works, but this one is better. If I dare to say that, yeah, this one is a bit better. One more thing I want to show you that you can create with Obsidian, or just make yourself like a quality of life improvement, is to create a shortcut, short keys on the keyboard. If you go on a settings and click on a hotkeys, I'll select, I write here remotely save. As you can see, it says remotely save, start sync. I'm going to click on a plus sign, and I press Ctrl, Shift, Alt, and S. And that's it. So every time I'm entering a note or something, let's say I'll go, let's delete all that, and let's say, please subscribe and don't forget to click like. Let's make sure this is big. So we're gonna press these 4 buttons, Control Shift Alt S. Straight away, boom, I get the message. Actually, very good, because I expected this to show up. That is that's what I was explaining to you, that is checking like, wait a minute, you are syncing more than 50% of the data. Is something wrong? Like basically it's telling you that you removed a lot of data and it's not syncing. If I'm gonna try run again, it will fail. To overwrite this, I need to go into settings, remotely save option, find the 50% configuration, which is somewhere here, and say disable the protection. Press that, press all the buttons, synchronization happened, and I can go and restore back. I had to do this on my initial setup when I set up my Obsidian MinIO bucket, and I sent all my 300 or so nodes first time to the Obsidian. So I sent the welcome message first, and then I sent a 300 or 400 nodes to Obsidian or to a MinIO bucket, and then I done a lot of changes. It complained a lot because it was above 50% threshold, but now it doesn't. So I can click save on that. So that's it. This is the MinIO S3 bucket self-hosting setup guide, how you can self-host a MinIO bucket inside your Docker instant, inside your home lab, and you can use that to synchronize your Obsidian nodes across multiple devices. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this kind of content, please consider subscribing, or at least click like, or just mention something in the comments. And like always, I see you in the next one. Goodbye.